Good evening and welcome to KILI Radio Storytelling Hour. My name is Brian. Georgian Cloud, and I come up here on Wednesdays from 5 to 6 and I bring you Ikitomi story, education, and always the Lakota language. And when we come up here, we always have two words, and that's commitment and perseverance in the Lakota language. And when we come up here, we always talk about what can we do to really make this Lakota language strong. So before I go on, I'm really glad this evening before I left the school, someone said you have a telephone call, and it was Toshka here. And I'm really glad that he called. So I went over there, and he was already on the road, so I picked him up. But we're up here now, so I'll let him introduce himself, and then we'll go from there.
Good evening, Lakota Haka, Timlog, what's up in Black Sister letters now, Wamam Hasa, Aka, here, Taka Pizza, another to a couple.
Okay, and then this evening, we'd like to say good evening, and many of you are going back from work. Winter time, the sun goes down. It seems like it's dark at 4:30. So be careful out there. There's I was down White Horse Creek this evening, and 3 deers jumped in front of me. But so be careful. There's deer out there. Sometimes there's horses out there. And drive slow. You'll get there. And another thing I wanted to say this evening is Tom. He always listens to KILI Storytelling Hour from Pine Ridge. So Tom, if you're listening, we are still here. We still tell stories. And then Charlie up in Martin, he always listens to KILI Radio. And then this is 90.1 Porcupine Butte, and then it's on the internet too, kiliradio.org. So welcome to our storytelling hour. On the way up here, we usually talk when Tim and I, Toshka Tim and I come up here. We talk about things in the past, or what happened today, or maybe something that we will touch on when we come up here. Sometimes we pick something that's going to come from us, and maybe someone out there, some of you listeners, maybe you have a better definition of this 2 words, and it's called Lakota perspective. And Tim has a big old dictionary up here, and there's nothing in there. So, but I talked about this before, but I didn't. I still have it's like sometimes it's in my mind. In fact, the other night I wrote it down, and I asked myself, sit there and say, You know, like when you teach at the college, the OLC, they always have that Lakota perspective. The thing that happens is before you start your lecture or your lesson, you might have someone say a prayer in Lakota. So you have that Lakota language. Or you can say something in Lakota, like Date Washte or Vete Washte Tahan Chian Kapelo, like that. And that brings in that the Lakota, what is it, environment?
Environment.
So we'll touch on that, see what you have, and it doesn't have to be like, there's all kinds of probably thoughts on this. So we will do maybe 2 or 3 of our thoughts of what we think this is. And I'll write them down, and I'm going to keep doing this. See how many I can write down. And then later on, maybe we can talk about the language and working together in those things. So, nakun dila ha kabela, nakun ukeas tokast, ukeas ke le woe ke le tchos le Lakota elke kokach le perspective elke leis Ganesh Tiwahe wajet na yel Tiwahe waji Lakota unkte Lakotia unkte Ishna kule Takwe chumi niha Lakotia chunt Chin Lakota So the not Tiwa lecha jas awalaka hapa he Le woe ki le he Cheche Ganesh Haluyanke ki le Lakota perspective ki le yuhiyak Chin pin Lakota ki pin Kik ta hata Lakota wiyuk chamka Tohan peter lata ufta hechasoyan Tako kik chamka Lakota Hani tokesh we choi chara hinaslanay Hani tokesh ke we chong chalasha Nkule we chong ke lele oe ha nko China khota ke ha ikhat pa yuk ke nko Oe ha Nkutu asla ashnar chi khat ha waila kek Na pelis Hejas nko Head na kon Kat khokuk Na hoog is na kon tchile Hani le Tchgaslavich Yampinais Kun in Wotak Le Hani chip le Ptatala Atchacha Nkompen Tiwahe Le Techila El Regla Honkom Kun na kunst de Okicha Atchacha Kachongtuni tuhuni tueni lochin pi alge wanin jamtset. Tatua takun venas okis nata okil. Kusles wanje tuata venas hani chin chaya hak venas takun no khalen. Es nakun le khalo. Ku hast khalo yogla yak. Lon shila khat khalo yogla yak katsalo.
Those guys nog op de market I kind of like having all the elements. We had all the elements there. Grandma ataya la kole upi na ko watch it and lupi kitana ko ata tako ka la kole javana chupi. Ta he Troje ktatua ihoni transna he is nachuna is waetu behena yetsenkara hanta nazi tupikte yusa musni ontagna vitroy eona is takta wotseki ha hesis taku kihana ya ontagna eona is tupi Totsi wastep totsi toikta you happy takta ek happy heche itsetka cha Well, Kuakachne has the Hetorsk, which like Washita, which saw you care. Like I said before, when Brian invites me and stuff like that, he gives me he gives a good question or whatever, and then you open your mind and you know you can think about it if you think back, you know. That's what I do. Takuli multatas na dorske yani michoni umpik het ayaptakos na takus na ewachami. That was a good one.
We we went to a meeting 2 weeks ago, so it's 3 weeks ago, and that question came up. We were talking about the Lakota language. And that word came up again. It comes up a lot lately. And how do we know if this student is Lakota perspective? Or someone said even if all these students or even in a gathering, they don't have that Lakota life, or that way of life. The families that they come from Lakota, but maybe through the, like, I heard 7 generations too. Okay. But so you look back, and maybe like 3 or 4 generations ago, maybe you don't live that way of life, even though you're Lakota. So today to make this Lakota language strong, that was one of the questions. And that word integration, integration to that was whether it's science or math, etc. So to bring in our way of life, it was that we talked about it, and then someone said, maybe in this group that I'm working with, there's somebody in there that comes from a Lakota family, and that person will come in here, and by being there, it'll strengthen what we're doing. So then another question came up was, how do we know this person is a Lakota perspective? But it's just maybe it's just where he comes from, and you ask him questions and he'll tell you, or what he says to match it yourself. You don't come from, we all come from different families to this circle. So maybe I don't grow up in the Wachipi, or like when my stepfather was a traditional dancer, but I never danced. Okay. He's into the say that Lakota, honey Lakota, tua kuje hanta oyak. Het chai chashanak. But doing this dagani omak. Honey chinako hena spunky option. Honey do ila unkus hechatas unkum chai. Hechas uyahang that getching so. They probably think that we will go on living like he does, or whatever your dad or mom or uncle, whoever raised you. So they don't teach. Maybe they don't sit down every night and teach you. Okay, this is how we pray, or this is how we help people. This is how we dance. This is, but in a Lakota way, we learn by watching too. Our teachings are like that.
Yeah.
So when you have a son or a daughter, they watch you what you do and they learn from you. It's village. It's okay, lecture.
Yeah. We're gonna have to come there. Lakota, there's slangs nowadays that they use. Taku kapikirana iwang sna unkikstana sna ayaptakasna tak waeo uchipichiho. Maybe some of you out there are college students taking courses or whatever. What I was telling Brian is we always have to be very careful of the information that we put out, or put on the air. So I'm still a little, I would say I'm still a little baffled. I'm thinking about the first one, the perspectiveness, and then I'm trying to get into this other one here, and I still can't get it right, feels like, so I'll have to pass on that for a while. I don't want to give no
But that is, yeah, it's okay. Well, it's today we like here the question was we need to bring in students who have that Lakota perspective. And then maybe these other students will learn from this student what he does, or maybe through him speaking Lakota. So, and then that'll maybe make them strong in that circle. So maybe we're today when we talk about the language, we're at a point where we're trying to find, like everything to strengthen this language, because no matter where you go, like I was telling my wife the other night, like when I was writing these down the other night, nobody was in there. I was sitting there, and I said, when I first came here, it seemed like that was back in 5 years, maybe. This is my 5th. So we said, let's do this for 5 years and see what happens. But we didn't do the plan. Like maybe the second year, maybe we lost two teachers. Like remember you mentioned their names last one. They were really good teachers. Those two lived the Lakota way of life. That's what you call Lakota perspective. And hopefully they're listening tonight. They're from Oglala. And one of them, when I was in high school, she was a dorm honey. They used to call her matron. Elizabeth. I'll mention her name. So those two are what. So we brought them in. They were retired, but we wanted to learn from them. Even, like I'm teaching Lakota at the same time. When I'm not there, that so many minutes, they go in there and then they do that. So, and then we wanted to, let's work on this kindergarten, and let's do the first grade. And as we continue for 5 years, you're going to these kindergarten people will be K1 to 4th graders, like that. And see if these people, like these, especially the 3rd and 4th graders, see how much they learn. And to this day, sometimes they surprise me. They know a lot, but they just don't communicate enough. Like last 2 weeks ago, one of my nephews was there. And in fact, it was Tom's son, Mackenzie. He was in there, and so I said, "Oigla kapo," and then they all did that, and then I just touched on some things on the wall, and right away they all said it together. Apetu tokai, apetu numpa, apetu yam. They all go out to apetu waka, and then all I did was just a motion with my hand, and then they started singing the Lakota, that one that has the Lakota in shapes and colors, heads. So they know those, but then they cannot sit and talk like you and I. Lakota, go ahead. So maybe we're at this point where we're looking at everything. We're looking at people students that come from a family that still practice the Lakota way of life. And what is Lakota way of life? Whose Lakota perspective? How do you know this person has Lakota perspective? As long as you speak Lakota, to me that's Lakota perspective. And because you're going to, that's one of them.
I think I think that a lot of that always has to deal with the parents or the guardian, and it deals with the student and the parent. Literally, they have to be of interest. Interested. Could you? If she's more, in order for that person or whoever to get interested, it takes more than one. And the parent will have to, for instance, you can ask questions of what they done at school, what they learned, what word, whatever, and be interested in it with your student, because it gives them that that drive. They feel good about themselves because they want to share what they learned and what they do know, but there's no questions asked as a parent or a guardian. Don't kill him trust now. Why am I? It's continuance it should be in continuance night and day, like we said. If you know a few inner words, or if your child brought back the wichoyong agli pihanta, usna ea pihanta, na it opens up that that valuable that connection, that interest. So it's all when Brian said that his students they know what to do and what to say, and this and that. I believe in it because they do have this, like I said before, they do have the knowledge, they have all they have the values of Brian's teachings and whatever. But the thing is for us to, kind of like get involved with them. The one is with choice, but then we talk about Utapina, and they get more interest and more involvement. And I think that stands as a whole. It includes high school, college students, even those of you who are not in school that would like to learn how to speak Lakota. It's now's the time. I know if I didn't know how to speak Lakota, I would definitely be sitting there with pencil and paper, and I'd give it a good go.
And then, you know that we went through one of the things that we try to really strengthen this Lakota language was you were one of the testers, and that's just a recent tool that was developed by the Ochete Shakoi. And now I don't know how long it's been going on, but you had a chance to sit with all the second graders and all the I think it's fifth graders, and then all the eighth graders, and it's really hard for them because they know some of the language, or they know the things that we teach them, but when you ask them in the language, the Lakota language, you can say something. When we talk, there's there's conjugation. Because you ask them three different. They all mean the same thing, but you ask them to use different Lakota words. So passing.
That's never church. I still remember all the ones I tested. I know when it's been years since.
Yeah, we're going to do it again. We haven't got the test yet, but as soon as we get it, we're going to try them out again. We'll just keep doing it. We will never give up.
Never.
So that's, we talked about these two words, Lakota perspective. And I know some of you out there listening, you know what that means, or you have used it, and you've heard about it. And write it down and let us know. You can call up here and tell us your thoughts on that, your definition, how you feel, what the Lakota perspective is.
And that way we could read it next time.
Yeah, we'll read it next time. Or you can just call me at Wendell District School and leave a message. I'll call you back. and we'll read it next time. And you're gonna, and I think this is working together. Sometimes, like the other one was Lakota perspective, and then they had this revitalization, and then there's we start something like that, and then sometimes we don't do it. Like, okay, we keep saying, okay, let's meet here and talk about working together. And then we'll do it for 3 or 4 times, or maybe do 2 times, and then we don't do it no more. And then we'll do it again. So if you keep doing it over and over again, or just keep doing it,
Yeah.
and you can strengthen each other, and because there's a lot of good Lakota speakers out there. There's a lot of Lakota speakers.
Yeah.
I was talking to my nephew. He was at Hakini, and then there was another person that I know really good. He works up in Standing Rock. He's a Lakota teacher. So you talk to people like that, and then they'll say, yeah, there's Lakota speakers here. Or the one in Standing Rock said, "Ata telo lechi tuini Lakota yeshnelo." Maybe well, there are speakers, but maybe right in that Oyatke or that district, maybe not many speak Lakota. But it's like that. There's a lot of Lakota speakers here, like in Oyukpe. There's a lot of speakers, a lot of Lakota speakers. A lot of Lakota perspective there. So if we all share sometimes, like especially those people that are like, what do you call it, active or involved, like you, it makes us stronger.
Yeah.
It makes us stronger. And we learn from each other. When questions like this come up, we talk about it, look at it, and we learn from it. So we only have 5 minutes, so I have a story here. This is the storytelling hour. It's a KILI Radio storytelling hour. And I want to thank this family. They're over in Connecticut, somewhere in the eastern part of the United States. It's a Kolak family, and they record these shows, and it's on Google. So if you want to look at these shows or listen to some of these stories, just go to Google and it's under KILI Radio Storytelling Hour. You can type my name on the Google and it comes up. All these shows, Saturday morning shows and storytelling. But sometimes when we don't come up here, then I don't know how. I emailed him one time and I told him that we were still on here, but he didn't write it back. But we are still here, and we're still doing the Saturday morning shows, and we're still going to be doing the Wednesday evening shows. So that's it. I have a little story here. It's a short story, and it's going to be in Lakota. 저 레 오훈깡깡 스토리 했자 익도미야 나는 익도미 우초야게 했자 저 익도미 나 싱크펠라야 레와 또한 오브라카 흑타까 또키 원니 또 원지 게니차 레 오브라카 오늘 레 또한 와 또한 라피스 레 미니루자 헥타 journey museum 앞에 또 텔레 헬트마와이 와칸자 아이촌키나 헬트마와이 컬레 우초야까 양께 자 웩스나 오와 싱 할레 익토미나 싱펠라 날레 위초야께 그는나 일단 원 스피치 죽자 블라케 미글스탄 코타 코네타 키추가 할레 위초야께 야니 아페투와 엘 익토 미니 아글라글라 와하피아 글레나 아스니키아 야카 캬피 Тебя есть не аюта няках. Чахан венахелака това хау кола яча. Кагал хингала капи. Окшанг ша этого аш двенишни. ke how kola acha kuta ke etwanyka sink pela acha meni etaha ahioka sikhpai lila wahapi ayuta na ke how kola acha ikto in echan makata kia etwa nach onsniku yanka तो चीज इतना ले वहाँ पे है आई तो है एक तो नहीं चाहिए लाना चाहिए चीज इतना ना ये तक ये आज काम चीज़ इतना ना थे बेया चीज चन्ना onsniku मुझे एक तो मैं तो किसके चुन के वहाँ पे कि इतना ना याद किंगते कि युक्चा इंगले खोला माया है ची कि यंग उनका किचिंग तलोए न दुआ ओही कि हाँ वहाँ पे की थावाक तलोए ऐसा ही नहीं ना कृष्ण जगन है लगता है अच्छा दिहु कृष्ण चा इख़त खाकावजी छुई में थावाल यामिग्राश कंक तलोए अतवाना एक तो छुआ का एक खाकावा है याचे पे ना है हो वनाक तेलोए एक तो इंची ओहिंग ताके चिंचा आताश इतो खास वना ता बलेके ओहोमने किगलेके आपे एक तो थका है आता मखोफ या जहान ताकुआ सी खुशन हा je glas kaps eigenlijk gepaard. Zij het gaan komen he ik to akan gepaard. Zij ik to kihsne. Sink Petro kahe eigenlijk hun na wahapi jawast este atkin tun ese kigenum kigla. Zij ik to let ook het gaatje zitten. Zij dingen gisteren le chant kiang een chillet ohink dat kitchen. Sin veel eigenlijk dus daar. Het zit dus niet. Zij het dan dat consel ja. Może het dan in zit het dan dat kon brengt dat je Hawaii shit absnio. Ja. Ik had niet zien dat ik le onneis tuktel tipi. De wat tili je had wat zeggen. We nog wel een maar dat wij wat kan je toen hier het kan. Dan niet gewoon ik zeg wel dat zit iets op gehad. Dan gaan we nog het is niet zo. Trokjala. On na kule uchwaya ke lene hani khtato chance ba yakapska. Na chema na la ikpazo chato khashna. Ikto mi uchwaya. Ana kul bob khta ka kacha. Dokter takun heta sada. Ikto mi uchwaya ke lene hani chance ba yakapska.
Ja. Another story is in the Яаник нэшнэ бичнэ үтата.
Чаванале мозаш кушна шапте ча. Я им кигна токша ке ино паке. Такон вичоя конжавона. Уганаш туа Lakota perspective апкиле. Уганаш ишя коя ке камхат лаке хивондалко.
Уганаш Saturday show laut gehaak.
Toch saacham.
Hebben een nog op tas dan
Thank you for listening and thank you to KILI Radio for letting us come on up here and share a story and share our thoughts on the Lakota language. Pilau ya pala,